Welcome everyone to another video. My name is Haggop, aka Hags, and today I'm going to be telling you exactly how to tackle a buyer's versus a seller's market. And these two are so different when it comes to each other. They both have the complete opposite effects on property, whether you're buying or selling them. And I've been grateful enough to be involved in both markets, but in this instance, we're in a buyer's market. So let's start off straight away in the buyer's side of things. And to break down exactly what this means, it means there are more properties on the market with less buyers purchasing. So this almost becomes an overload of properties, which means you can purchase a property for a larger discount. So you'll have a much more variety of properties to look through, which will help you when it comes to finding your next investment, especially in a market like this, when yes, everything is tough to get hold of anyway because of interest rates, inflation, etc. This is when you can look at all the stock that there are, especially the doer-uppers, because in this current market, with the buyers being more predominant, it means you have a choice. And a lot more people are looking for just the done-up properties because no one wants to spend that extra bit of money doing up the property once they've bought it. Whereas with properties that need doing up, this is where you can take advantage of what is out there, because there will be a fair few probate or people just want to offload what they have. This is when you can jump in and be able to offer them significantly lower to the point where it's acceptable. I'm not saying just offer £100,000 less than the asking. Something more reasonable, but a lot less than it was last year where it was a seller's market. And this practically will help you, because when you buy it for such a lower price, for example, £100,000 last year, you can this year buy it for £80,000 or £70,000. And when you do it up, spending about £10,000, £20,000, £30,000 on it, you're practically paying last year's price for just the property alone. Of course, the resale value has dropped, but when it comes to doer-uppers, like I've said, people are looking to just get rid of them. And there's a lot more going to come on the market, which means you can get your hands on something great. So the types of properties when it comes to doer-uppers you need to target are, yes, the ones that are just sitting there, of course, but at the end of the day, they could be just sitting there, they have viewings, etc. You need to target the ones which either have a reduced sign on there or find properties that fall through. And that's exactly what I've done with my next property that I'm purchasing. So stay tuned for that one. So in a buyer's market, yes, like I've said, it's harder to sell properties. But when it does come to purchasing that property with the floor plan specifically, you need to make sure there is enough space for everything. You need to be more specific with everything. If you're talking last year in a seller's market, you could have bought any property, done it up and sold it, and you would have got 10, 15, 20 viewers within that first week. So if you're looking to purchase a property for rental only, whether it's a short-term let or just a standard residential let or HMO, etc., you don't need to worry too much right now. This is probably a great time for you to buy, because you don't really need to worry too much about the resale value because you're not going to sell it. Your main worry is either interest rates or how much work needs doing to the property. Rental values are always high. Every estate agent calls me and says, rentals are high, rental demands are high, etc. It's always high. This is just how it is. So don't worry too much about those things. But worry about that purchase price. So now, as I've said, we're in a buyer's market. You can get something for a really, really good price. And then add that value and drive that up to be able to pull some money out if you like, or leave money in there and just rent it out on potentially a variable rate, just so the market sort of slows down, or just fix it. And also, if you're cash, then you're perfectly fine. You don't have to worry about any of this. But if you're going to flip a property, this is where things become a lot more challenging. But of course, higher risk, higher reward. That's how it works with mainly flipping properties, especially with how much money you sort of have to put into it. So, of course, like I've said, you can find a huge discounted property. Simple as that. They're all out there. Now you have to be a lot more pickier with which ones you buy. When you do it up and you put it on the market, you don't have about 5, 6, 7 properties in that area very similar to yours. You need to stand out the best you can. But speaking of last year, speaking of a seller's market, let's go now into a seller's market. And that is practically where you have a lot more buyers out there and less sellers out there. And of course, what does that mean? drives the price up like crazy. And of course, as you know, last year, because the interest rates were relatively low, or should I say very low, everyone was just putting in offers left, right, and centre. So for example, the last property I purchased and flipped, we had about 10 viewings within that week, and we had 7 or so offers for that property. And also when it comes to purchasing properties, it's going to be a lot tougher. Whereas with a buyer's market, you buying a property is a lot easier because there's more stock out there. So with a seller's market, if you're flipping property, all you need to do is just view houses. Constantly view different houses. Yes, with a seller's market, you can't reduce that price. You're pretty much paying the asking price or more, but because you know you'll be doing that property up, you'll be selling that property within the couple of months, 5 months, etc. You should be perfectly fine to sell that for a higher figure as well. So it's all relative to each other. And when it comes to actually purchasing property in a seller's market, you don't have to be too picky. And when you're doing it up, of course you want to do it to a good standard, but you don't need to be completely too detailed. But what I found out in a seller's market last year, when I purchased 2 properties, done them up and flipped them, was I looked at plenty of properties. I traveled far and wide to purchase some properties. And sometimes I wouldn't even be able to get an offer thrown in, or sometimes I wouldn't even get a viewing booked in because within the day it was fully booked. So it was more of a challenge in trying to purchase a property than selling it, because I knew once I had a property, it was so much easier to sell it. And now, of course, we are in a buyer's market, so things are a little tougher. But to conclude what I think, or which market is better, to be honest, I'd rather the stagnated one where everything's just level, everything's fine, everyone's buying, selling, and nothing crazy is going on with the pricing. Of course, that's my ideal situation. We will get to that eventually. Right now, we're just in the situation of finding that median ground again. But of course, as for now, everything's a bit tricky. I do prefer a seller's market because I know it was hard to purchase properties. But once I did, I knew it was a breeze to almost do it up and sell it very quickly. There was no question about it. The price I put it up for, it was going to go for over. I had my first property flip. Well, I say my first, the one that had the most work doing to it, sold within a couple of days. Ridiculous. So that's my opinion. Let me know what you think down below. For now, it's just how it is. It's slower than before. You've got more people selling than buying, but there are still buyers out there. Of course there are. It's just a matter of time and be patient. But there we have it. I've been Hagop, aka Hags. Don't forget the name, and I'll catch you in the next video.